Joining us now is Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, OG.
Are you having a great day?
How are you?
Can you smile? Good morning. How are you? The first time Dr. Abati is not waving. Let's wave. How are you? I did it right. I did, so I tried. Good morning. How are you?
Very well,
thank you. Matching today. You look great.
Yes, I thought you were going to come in red too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. Well, I did well by wearing blue. Is Rufai wearing red? Good morning, Rufai.
No, I'm not wearing red. I had to wear blue.
Okay, he has blue.
So we're matching, thank God.
Yeah, because of you.
Oh, sweet.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Great.
Thank you.
I'm glad. Yeah.
Well, good morning to you, viewers. We begin what's trending in Saudi Arabia, where Nigerian students stranded in the country have cried out over an alleged move by officials of the Nigerian Embassy to frustrate their evacuation to Nigeria. In a video circulated on social media, the students alleged that the embassy officials were opposed to a free flight that was provided for them by the Asian country to bring them back home. Let's take a listen.
We students, we Nigeria students in Saudi Arabia, hereby to say both Nigeria Embassy and Consulate General of Nigeria in Saudi Arabia deny students to travel home for their self-interest. The acting ambassador of Nigeria Embassy, Isa Dodo, and Consular General of Nigeria, Seidu Tigi, in Saudi Arabia, have denied the students studying in Saudi Arabia their right to travel home for their holiday, which is contrary to Nigeria law on human rights. Out of more than 150 countries that study in Saudi Arabia, almost 148 countries have traveled home for their holiday between 15 May to 30 July with the assistance of their embassy and good leaders of their countries. After a series of meetings with Ambassador, Consular General and Saudi Airline, we discovered that Saudi government has prepared more than 6 trips for us to travel home for our holiday, which were blocked by our embassy and consulate here in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Airline has sent 8 copies of letter to Nigeria Embassy and consulate requesting for landing permit to airlift us to our country. None of the letters was responded due to their self-interest. We further discovered that Nigeria Embassy and Consulate in Saudi demand huge amount of money or 80 free seats from Saudi Airline as bribe before they can allow Saudi Airline to airlift us to Nigeria. And our 4 months holiday remains just a month. We are exploring our people of Nigeria and political leaders so to sincerely come to our aid on this issue.
It's a really sad situation. Like, we took the story yesterday from, the UK, where these stranded students, these people that, were protesting about their unpaid tuition, were protesting. I mean, it's great that these students are coming out to protest, but there's that fundamental issue. What is the reason why they have claimed that the Nigerian officials at the embassy are charging them money to fly back home, which is absolutely ridiculous, Adesua.
We would like to know the basis for the demand for these monies, because I know that since the outbreak of the coronavirus, the Nigerian government, like governments around the world, have been embarking on special evacuation exercises of their citizens. And we have seen about 292 Nigerians evacuated from Saudi Arabia, and we didn't have issues with those. So I think this is a peculiar case, and we need more details.
Yes.
Well, I guess it's as follows. You recall that in May, the Saudi Arabian authorities offered to help airlift foreign nationals in their country. And at that time, the Saudi Arabian authorities said there were 11,600 Nigerians in Saudi Arabia in different parts. And if they were willing to return to Nigeria, Saudi Arabia will make Saudi airline available. And indeed, on May 29, 292 Nigerians were airlifted from Saudi Arabia they arrived in Abuja, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other departments of government took over and ensured that they were quarantined for 14 days. There was also the plan to airlift a second batch of 100 Nigerians from Saudi Arabia in July. Now, what happened is that first set came in May. There were many students amongst them. There were also women and children, according to the reports at that time. Now, what is the problem in the case of these students? These students are alleging that the mission in Saudi Arabia has refused to provide the necessary letters that the Saudi Arabian authorities requested for. Now, if the same mission did so in May and also provided letter for the second batch in July at no cost to the Nigerian authorities, then why will, in this instance, the embassy would refuse? Now, we're told that many of these students in this particular category, most of them are from Iwo in Osun State. And at a point, the Oluwo of Iwo, I think Telu III, had to intervene with the Diaspora Commission, with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He pushed that the matter should be looked into. And the authorities claimed that they were looking into the matter. The relevant letters have since been written. And the spokesperson of the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs says that the matter has been addressed. However, the schools shut down in May. Now, the schools are going to resume now in August. So for these students who are protesting, they probably don't need to come home on vacation again.
Well, they are begging for the 1 month that they have. I believe that they have 1 month left.
Well, the schools are resuming this month. I don't know the exact date.
Yeah.
And many of them are from different parts of Saudi Arabia. And in the course of the COVID-19, they also needed intercity passes for them to be able to move from one part of Saudi Arabia to the other. They also claim that the Nigerian mission did not provide the letters, that will allow them to use that pass. But now that the matter is in the public domain, whether they still want to come home or time has lapsed, I think that as a matter of urgency, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Diaspora Commission should look into this. It's not enough for Ferdinand Nwoye, the spokesman of the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to say the matter has been addressed. The matter cannot be addressed on a permanent basis. The concerns of those students is what should be addressed in terms of their expectations.
Like one of them says, a violation of their human rights. They should be able to travel if they want to travel. Rufai.
When I heard those words, I just remember I said quintessential Nigerian. When you hear, we will look into it, the matter will be addressed. It's up for review. Know that nothing is happening. And it's very sad. It's very sad. It's so sad that we've put some lexicon into our national lives that indicates that we're not going to do anything. Look at the students. They're sort of been stranded. They have families. I know some of them are married. They have families back home that they want to see. And it's quite very painful. Quite very painful. But on the brighter side, Oji, I was quite excited at the tweet yesterday.
Yes.
When you tweeted out that at least something we said here yesterday, and it worked. So we want more things like that in our country. We want our country to work. We want Nigerians to be respected in every part of the world. That's what we want.
Yes.
So sad one today, but good looking, good on the other side for yesterday.
Yes.
Well, by way of footnote, the students are also alleging that the Nigerian authorities in Saudi Arabia are asking them to pay.
That's the issue.
Their fare.
That's the issue.
And they are being asked to pay 285,000 per person. And the question is, if the Saudi authorities had offered to airlift them free, why would the mission that took that same offer in May refuse to take the same offer this time around? So there are questions that should be raised.
Dr. Abati, what is the fee for? Is it administration fee?
No, they want them to pay their airfare. They want them to pay their own airfare.
Asman Air was designated as the...
And the Saudi government is ready to lift us for free.
For free. They offer them free
We are not
ticket.
taking the free offer. We want
Yes. It's ridiculous.
But
it needs to be
we took that
addressed.
same offer in May.
Yes.
We took that same offer in May.
But I think that there's a general problem with our missions and embassies, wherever you look in the world. I think it's something we need to look at. If it's always a story of Nigerians are not being helped or they don't get the required help when they want it in those missions and in those embassies. It's something we really need to look at.
Well said, Adesua. Sure. Let's take another story. On Tuesday, the federal government announced that it has increased the penalty for hate speech from 500,000 naira to 5 million naira. The announcement was made by the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, during the unveiling of the reviewed antitrust provisions of the Nigeria Broadcasting Code in Lagos. In his remarks, the minister said there are many desirable provisions in the new broadcasting code that would boost local content and local industry due to laws prohibiting exclusive use of rights by broadcasters who intend to create monopolies and hold the entire market to themselves. However, the provision which raises the fine for hate speech from 500,000 naira to 5 million naira has garnered mixed reactions on social media. Let's take some tweets real quick. Twitter user Wanyangu wrote, "The increase in fine for hate speech is uncalled for. Please, the federal government should attend to other pressing issues. Nigerians are dying on a daily basis. So much insecurity in all parts of the country, and the service chiefs are still being pampered till this moment. We are watching." Another user, Eli Mahmood, wrote, "I hope sarcasm will not be misconstrued for hate speech. Maybe that increase of fine to 5 million naira is a way to shore up our revenue, part of diversifying our economy. The federal government is really working hard in the face of low oil prices." I mean, that's a sarcastic tweet right there. But I mean, people are complaining about the fine. I mean, they're saying it's also a way to just completely shut down free speech. I mean, the journalists and people like us are the ones that will suffer if, we get into that. But in a general review of the provision of the new antitrust provision of the NBC Code, I kind of like a bunch of the things that were revealed yesterday by the Minister of Information and Culture. I mean, on the part of the exclusivity, I'm very proud that, we are looking into that so that, this monopoly in the broadcasting industry will not be taken advantage of. So
indeed, there were some commendable aspects of it, and there were aspects that generated controversies, including, content, local content, the arts, arts sector. They are arguing some parts of that bill. But who is defining hate speech? And what is hate speech? And how many broadcasting houses can afford 5 million naira? And also, repetitive, repetitive offense, 3 times you lose your license. I don't know. Dr. Bati.
Well, the matter is as follows. The occasion was the unveiling of what is called the new National Broadcasting Code. And that new National Broadcasting Code itself is very controversial.
Yes.
Maybe perhaps the provision in that code talking about, preventing backlog of advertising revenue,
like that as well, yes.
Maybe something that media owners would like. But
yes.
In terms of the overall principle behind the revision of that National Broadcasting Code, there are parts of it that stakeholders are unhappy with. One, the NBC, or the Ministry of Information, says that it is meant to promote local content and to prevent monopoly, to prevent exclusivity. Now, the stakeholders are saying no. The way the code is phrased in this regard is, in fact, not in the best interest of stakeholders. Because what you are doing is a form of interference in private enterprise and the state trying to take control of content within the media. I'll return to this. Let's take a short break. When we return, what's trending, we'll continue. Welcome back to the morning show here on the Arise News channel. We still have Okpe here with what's trending around the world. And before we took that break, I was commenting on the unveiling of the new National Broadcasting Code. And I said that, the code itself is controversial because the same stakeholders within the local broadcasting industry that it is supposed to help are objecting to many parts of it. The exclusivity that is talked about, limiting exclusivity, is seen as an attempt by the Ministry of Information to interfere in the, private enterprise and more or less control or dictate the direction of content. The Copyright Society of Nigeria actually issued a statement saying that there are parts of that new broadcasting code that are unworkable, that are illegal, and that are unconstitutional. Even if there are parts of it, like the one protecting, advertising revenue for media houses, is something that people like. So there are issues about copyright and intellectual property. But to go straight to the main point that you raised about hate speech, and Adeso already asked the question, who defines hate speech? Now, this has been interpreted by stakeholders within the industry as an attempt to gag the media. You will recall that before now, the NBC has been very notorious in issuing fines, in threatening to withdraw licenses. And I guess, it is more important for the Broadcasting Commission to help expand the scope for free speech. Now, what may well happen with this 5 million naira fine is not just about whether media houses can afford it or not. Is that the NBC may find itself in litigation with many media houses. Because if you say within the code, this is what his speech is, that can be tested in a court of law, in the light of fundamental provisions in Chapter 4 of the Constitution. 5
million naira is a lot of money. I don't know who can afford 5 million naira, especially now with the pandemic. Let's take another story in Nigeria, which is a story I found on Facebook that caught my attention. It is a picture of a little girl with the most amazing blue eyes. A lady, Alabi Rukayat Oyindamola, shared the photos and alleged that the little girl, who is 8 years old and goes by the name Kaosara, had been rejected by her father because of the color of her eyes. Alabi went on to state that she met the girl's family when she traveled to Ilorin for the Eid break. The photos of the girl and her younger sister, who also has blue eyes, have since gone viral on social media. I mean, this story caught my attention. Who can reject a beautiful girl like this? Rufai, I'm going to come to you with this story. What is your take on this?
I mean, if I had a wife, I would have started to make moves to adopt that girl.
I want to adopt her. Yeah, this is why I'm taking this story, because she is so beautiful.
Because it's quite funny. And it goes back to culture and tradition. Things we have not seen before, we discard or dismiss them. Pretty much reminds me of what Mary Slessor fought against, killing of twins. Apparently, they had not seen twins being born in that area of Calabar, and they felt, we should kill them, they're abominable, and the likes. But this is just a beautiful girl with a lovely blue eyes that should be given a ride for the future, that should be supported, and should be helped. But she's been rejected by her father because of this. I hope somebody steps in, takes care of this girl, give her a bright future she deserves. This is what some people, put in their eyes and they...
That is fact. Did you follow the trend of the contact lens?
I just didn't have one hat to wear it because, putting your finger into your eyes to wear anything. But I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful. This is just common science. It's low pigmentation in the iris.
Thank you.
But you will not blame a man who has brown eyes. His wife has brown eyes, and they give birth to a blue-eyed child. I can only imagine the confusion for him. But there are other ways to test if a child is yours or not. There's a DNA test.
No, I think it has to do with culture. I don't know whether it has to do whether it's his child or not. But the story is that he denied the child that the child has blue eyes, and he does not understand why she has the blue eyes.
Yes. When himself and his wife, they have brown eyes.
Yes. Scared of the child. That's probably what it is.
What we're dealing with here is ignorance.
Yes.
It's not culture and tradition.
It's not.
Now, what is strange is usually interpreted as a taboo by Africans especially, and particularly because blue eyes are not very common. Mm-hmm. They're common in parts of Northern Europe, but generally it's only about 8% of the world's population that has blue eyes. As you pointed out, it's as a result of a lower amount of melanin in the iris. It's the melanin that is responsible for the color of the eyes. But if you have lower melanin, then you are likely to have blue eyes. But it's a form of genetic mutation.
Yes.
So in this particular case, I hope they have in that state, in Kwara State, a child welfare department. That child welfare department, if it exists, should invite the father of these young ladies and educate him that, having blue eyes is not a disability.
Yes.
And that even if he and his wife have brown eyes, they can have children that have blue eyes.
Yeah.
Take Prince William, of Britain. He has brown eyes. his wife has green eyes. He has blue eyes. But they have a son, their first son, Prince George. He is brown-eyed. They have the Princess Charlotte. She is blue-eyed. Prince Louis, their third child, he is blue-eyed. Now, you have a father that is blue-eyed and a mother that is green-eyed. So, because they are enlightened, they are not going to reject, any of their children. So this is what it is. It's ignorance, basically. And I think that the state government should take an interest in the story so that the man does not
abandon his responsibility.
And reject the children.
I showed the picture of this girl to somebody here, and the person, who is this? This person is a witch. That was the first thing that the person said. And that's what I'm talking about.
That's what I was talking about.
It's the level of ignorance.
It's
ignorance.
It's part ignorance. Don't decide. It's part ignorance, I think. But it's not really.
You know why I
think it's more of culture, really.
You know why I say that? It's just that we've developed a culture that says that something that is not common to us is abominable or witchcraft. We are so quick to say that. Yes. It's a culture we have developed. What
Same
culture?
Same thing with the albinos in Africa, how they used to kill them.
What's culture?
It's a big deal.
Culture is the way of life of a group of people.
Yes.
So if it's not something we've seen as part of our way of life, we discard it.
Yes.
But here we're talking about, human life, about biology.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, the simplest thing that an intelligent person would do would have been to take that child to the hospital and consult a medical doctor. And the medical doctors will have said, look, having blue eyes is not a disability.
That's where ignorance comes
And that the only risk is exposure to light. If you have blue eyes, then, when you are exposed to light, maybe you cover up a little bit. So that's why it is basically ignorance.
Yes. Well, let's take another story, our final story. For the first time in the British Vogue's 104-year history, a black male photographer was chosen to shoot the magazine's September issue, which is themed Activism Now, featuring 40 activists. The photographer, Mishem Harriman, is Nigerian, who first picked up a camera only 3 years ago. The magazine cover features footballer and anti-child poverty campaigner Marcus Rashford, as well as model activist Adowa Abwa. In an interview, the magazine's editor-in-chief, Edward Enyenful, called the magazine cover stars the new heroes. Let's take a quick listen.
The cover was shot by a photographer called Mishan Harriman. He's a black photographer, styled by my fashion editor, Donna Wallace. And it was an all-black team. We have Marcus, the footballer from Manchester. He literally used his platform to get all the young kids fed. Then we have Adjoa Aboa. They're on the main cover, and Adjoa's used her platform to talk about mental health. So the September issue is a very special one. We went from COVID to talking about environmental issues to the biggest moment in civil rights history. I mean, the whole world, of the marches, and I felt like these incredible people who were sort of given their time and their lives to make sure that there was social justice in the world, to make sure that there was education and community care. These were the people who were the new heroes.
It's such an amazing thing. We've been hearing so many horrific stories coming out of Nigeria. I am so proud of this photographer. The September issue of Vogue is called the Bible of Vogue magazine. And I am so happy that it was a Nigerian photographer who did this picture.
And he's the first black photographer to headline that Bible of the Vogue. Well, thank you very much, OJ.
Thank you so much.